really finding yourself. And if you're not a company owner, and I said I did a lot of talks through COVID, and the owners were really struggling. So I appreciate also staff were as well, but without the company, staff don't get paid. So I used to say to people, just do whatever you can. If you're on leave or you have to take leave, check in with your boss to see if there's anything that you can do, because that helps them. You know, when you're at the top, you actually need all the help you can get, or support that you can get. And that costs nothing, but it will give you back tenfold later on. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of elements in an exit. That's a really tough question because there's a lot that goes into it, especially when you founded a company and it's your baby and you've grown it. And, you know, I did the whole, you know, the book, and then I always call it going from analog to digital. And we grew from just me to 300 staff in 15 countries. So it was a really big thing for me. When I first did my first acquisition, I suppose I sold 50% of the company. That was okay because I was still running the company. You still have 50%, so it was totally fine. The second one was a little bit more harder emotionally, I suppose, for me, because I've been doing it for 18 years, and then I was selling 85% at that time. So when a private equity company comes in, they also want a 3 to 5 year exit. So that's what happened with our PE company who were in. Then they wanted to exit after 5 years. And that's okay. So yeah, it's a lot of mental drainage as well. The easiest part is actually negotiating on the price. That's actually the easiest part. The hardest part is probably the 8 to 12 months due diligence after it. It's depending on the size of the company, but obviously we were in 15 countries. There was different legalities and everything everywhere. So it took a year roughly to do all the due diligence. And then it's the most important thing, if I could give anyone advice on it, it's actually you must get a good lawyer with a good commercial background, because you're responsible after that sale. You've got warranties, you've got indemnities, you've got so many things that they'll try and hook you in for, I suppose, that you need one really. If ever you're going to spend money, spend it on a great lawyer commercially, and you have to negotiate some of these points. Because the last thing you want is to sell and then for the next 10 years still be accountable if anything goes wrong. So there's a lot that goes into the whole exit, and that's why it took pretty much a year. So yes, hand up, yes, obviously monetary side is fantastic, but it's not all about the money. First, you have to be ready to sell as well. You have to really, in a way, understand where you are in your life. It's not like, oh, this is the money and now I'm selling, because a lot of people regret that, because then they feel they've got, oh, what am I going to do now? So if you're still getting dividends and your salary and everything's going nicely, that is your life. So for me personally, I was in the right space. So I've been doing it for such a long time, and I wanted to try some other things. I wanted to do some things. I wanted to spend a bit more time with my kids. So that was really important for me. Yeah, I think it's different. I mean, I have an extra 20 years experience. So that's one thing is experience. So with Entertainer, you know, I was a lot younger. I never really had my own company. I sort of winged it. I, you know, went along the way. So I wouldn't not say I would ever give any of that up, because I think you have to make mistakes to learn along the way. And I certainly did. And I wouldn't do anything different than I did with Entertainer. But what it has enabled me to do is have a lot more experience with Caha Capo and the Benton Group in starting. And I think one of the hardest things that people really struggle with is it's actually managing staff. You can actually have an idea and you can do it yourself with your own work ethic. But I think it's having that, knowing when you see a good employee, how to manage them, your execution, timelines, because your staff are actually your human capital. It's not about me, it's about us. And that's really important. So we're a team, and I've always said that. So I think when you just generally have that instilled in you and you're hardworking and you're passionate, I think you learn along the way with Entertainer more things, about more data and in the funnel and digital and where to spend money and what to do, little things you've learned along the way. But I think you've got your DNA within you that I listen to my gut a lot, call it the second brain. I'm not that person that'll sit at a flip chart for 6 months and what do we do? I mean, I'll decide something pretty much in 10 minutes. Right, this is what we're doing, let's do it. I'm a very maker, we're very agile. We're not corporate. We're very entrepreneurial here. And I try to teach my staff things that I've learned to try and better them as well. So what I've learned is a lot about company culture, where to spend. I'm a little bit more financial now. I won't have to wait. I waited 20 years for Entertainer. I'm hoping we can grow Caha Capo and the Benton Group a little bit quicker. But one thing I've also learned is you have to give back. So for the Benton Group and in our profits, I'll be putting a percentage towards them and to do a little like Shark Tank. So, and then to put that towards other startups to enable them to live their dream. Because that's one of the hardest things is I wouldn't say, a lot of people say a woman to a man, and I'm very much about equality. So I don't believe that because we're women, we shouldn't have businesses. And I believe on the other thing, we shouldn't get any more advantages than a man at the same time. I believe in the equality side of it. It's a shame that there aren't more women CEOs and business owners. And I think that's a shame on us because it's perceived as the man's world. But what I would say, I mean, women are multitask so well. We multitask, we get things done, we're agile, we have babies, we have partners, we have work. On top of that, you get the milk on the way home. You're remembering so many different things that women are really good in the workplace. And women have to support women. Why do women put women down? Support women, be there for them. We all know what it's like. And literally, it's something like 3 to 4% of women are only CEOs, in the world. And I think one thing that women do, we actually, when you had children, you actually really lack confidence to go back. And it's very confidence driven, whereby they feel they're not good enough. If somebody walks into, I don't know, whatever, MasterCard, any big company, 80% are probably men. And then it's like, oh, okay, how do I get there? Or I better not ask. Or, some men, they might make you feel intimidated. And then you lose confidence. So it's no, don't lose confidence and fight for what you want. And, if that was your husband or boyfriend saying something to you, you fight back with him. So do the same in the workforce. So if you believe in something, they want you to do that. Question them. Women generally don't have egos. You sit in a boardroom full of men, with all due respect, there's a lot of testosterone going on and a lot of ego. It's always great for a woman to break that up. It's really good. And women just get stuff done. They're just, so as a woman, if you're thinking about starting your own company, obviously that's a different side of, I don't know the financial side of things, but I always say also where there's no risk, there's no reward. But you can do it. And if it doesn't work out, you just go get another job. So it's a pretty simple formula, but you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself.